Hey, welcome back to the channel, and today, we have something big. I mean, really big. Picture this. Two of the biggest K-pop giants in the history of this entire industry, from two completely different generations, from two completely different fandoms, suddenly connected by one tiny click on Instagram. One simple little red heart-like button, and it was enough to shake the entire K-pop world in a matter of hours. Yes, you heard that right. G-Dragon, the legendary leader of Big Bang, was caught liking a post featuring Jimin. And the fan reaction? You can already guess. Twitter exploded. TikTok got flooded with clips. Online forums like Pan and Insty's instantly became absolute battlegrounds of opinion. So in today's video, we are going to break down everything, from the viral moment itself, the long history between G-Dragon and the BTS members, why this moment is so much more meaningful than it appears on the surface, all the way to the most epic fan comments from ARMY and VIP all around the world. Stay right here, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because this video is going to be the most complete breakdown you will ever watch on this topic. Okay, first things first, let's talk about exactly what happened. So here's how the story goes. A post was circulating on social media, and that post featured none other than Park Jimin of BTS, the idol widely recognized as one of the greatest performers of his entire generation. Whether it was a photo, a performance clip, or a special moment shared by an account, what mattered is that this post caught the attention of someone completely unexpected. Kwon Ji-young, otherwise known as G-Dragon. Yes, that's right, the living legend himself, the leader of Big Bang, the #1 fashion icon in K-pop history, the man who has spent nearly 2 decades defining what it actually means to be a K-pop superstar. And he hit like on a post featuring Jimin. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, that's just a regular like. Why does this have to be such a big deal? But hold on. Those of you who have been in the K-pop fandom long enough already know, every single move G-Dragon makes on social media is watched by millions of eyes. Every like, every comment, every account he follows, it all gets noted, analyzed, and discussed in extreme detail. And when the names G-Dragon and Jimin appear in the same context, that is like combining two supernovas. The energy is absolutely massive. The fans who first caught this moment immediately spread it across every corner of the internet. Screenshots of the notification flew around like wildfire. Within less than 24 hours, the topic was already trending on multiple platforms, from Twitter/X and TikTok, all the way to Korean forums like Pan-Nate. For those of you who are brand new to the K-pop world, or maybe those who aren't too familiar with G-Dragon, let's take a moment to talk about just how massive this man truly is. Kwon Ji-young, born August 18, 1988, is the leader and main rapper of Big Bang, the group that first debuted in 2006 and immediately and permanently changed the landscape of Korean music. But G-Dragon is not just your average K-pop idol. He is an artist, a songwriter, a producer, and a fashion icon whose influence extends far beyond the boundaries of the Korean entertainment industry. As a solo artist, he released albums that are considered genuine works of art, from Heartbreaker in 2009, One of a Kind in 2012, Coup d'Etat in 2013, all the way to Kwon Ji-young in 2017. Each album wasn't simply a collection of songs. It was a bold and visionary artistic statement. In the world of fashion, G-Dragon is one of the first Asian men to be recognized by the Western fashion world as a true icon. He has collaborated with legendary brands like Chanel, Nike, and Adidas. His appearances at Paris Fashion Week have always drawn massive attention from international media. And what makes G-Dragon even more special is his relationship with the next generation of K-pop idols. He is known as a humble and supportive senior who has never stopped encouraging his juniors. This isn't just image management. It has been proven time and time again through real interactions that were captured and went viral. Interestingly, G-Dragon is also well known for being close to the BTS members. This isn't something that happened overnight. This relationship has been built over many years. And on the other side of this story, there is Park Jimin. Born October 13, 1995, Jimin is the BTS member widely regarded as one of the greatest dancers and performers the K-pop industry has ever produced. But Jimin is not just a dancer. He is a complete artist. His unique voice, his breathtaking stage presence, and his extraordinary ability to convey emotion through every movement of his body make every single one of his performances an unforgettable experience. As a solo artist, Jimin has proven his caliber on a truly global scale. His solo album Face, released in 2023, exploded around the world, with the single Like Crazy setting the record as the first Korean solo artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Then in 2024, the album Muse showcased the continued depth of his artistry as it keeps growing and evolving. And in 2025, after completing his mandatory military service alongside Jungkook and returning to the public in June 2025, Jimin immediately went right back to dominating the popularity charts. Data from the Korean Business Research Institute showed that Jimin claimed the top spot in the brand reputation rankings for male K-pop idols with a staggering 6,301,075 points, surpassing G-Dragon, who came in at third place. A healthy competition between two superstars from different generations, or mutual admiration and respect for each other? As it turns out, the answer is very much the second one. This is the part that a lot of people may not fully know. The relationship between G-Dragon and BTS has actually been going on for a very long time, and it has always been filled with genuine mutual respect. Let's start from the very roots of it all. Jimin himself has publicly acknowledged that Taeyong, another member of Big Bang, and also G-Dragon's legendary partner in the duo GD and Top, was one of the main reasons he ever wanted to become a singer. Taeyong was Jimin's inspiration from childhood, and Taeyong is G-Dragon's closest friend, practically a brother to him. So the connection between G-Dragon's world and Jimin's world existed even before BTS ever debuted. Then there is Jungkook, the BTS magnate known as the Golden Magnate, who has repeatedly named G-Dragon as one of his idols over the years. Jungkook is even known to share many style similarities with GD, from fashion choices all the way down to tattoo placements. Then there are the actual documented moments of them meeting in person. G-Dragon and several BTS members have run into each other at various industry events, and they have always appeared warm and friendly with one another. Photos of them together always went viral because fans from both fandoms, ARMY and VIP, were equally thrilled to see two of the greatest generations of K-pop unite in one frame. And possibly the most iconic of all, G-Dragon once liked a video of Jimin and V dancing. This is not a rumor. This is a documented fact that went viral and spread widely across social media. When two of the best dancers in BTS performed together and the Big Bang legend himself hit the like button, that was a very real and undeniable form of appreciation from a legendary senior to incredibly talented juniors. Netizens immediately went wild, flooding comment sections with reactions like, "G-Dragon just acknowledged Jimin and V's greatness? That is the ultimate confirmation we could ever ask for." Okay, now we get to the part that is always a favorite, the fan reactions. And trust me, this time it absolutely does not disappoint. From the ARMY side, the BTS fandom, the reactions were mixed, but completely dominated by an overwhelming wave of excitement. Many ARMY fans felt this was an official acknowledgement from a living legend of Jimin's incredible greatness. Comments flooded in from every direction, and some of the most shared ones across Twitter read along the lines of this: G-Dragon is an icon who does not casually give attention to just anyone. If he liked Jimin's post, it means he was genuinely impressed. That is simply a fact. Others were celebrating the idea of two generations of K-pop's best recognizing each other, calling it the beauty of the industry at its finest. And then there were the ARMY fans who were simply screaming into the void because their favorite had received acknowledgement from one of the greatest names in K-pop history. There were also ARMY fans who immediately started digging through old archives to find every single moment where GD and Jimin, or GD and BTS in general, had ever interacted. The resulting threads on Twitter ended up receiving hundreds of thousands of likes on their own, turning into viral content all by themselves. From the VIP side, the Big Bang fandom, the majority of VIPs responded with immense pride and enthusiasm. For them, This proved that G-Dragon is not a closed-off or exclusive figure. He actively follows the developments of the industry and appreciates talent, regardless of which group that talent comes from. The VIP comments that got the most traction echoed sentiments like, GD always recognizes quality. Always. There's nothing surprising about this at all. And others pointed out what many in both fandoms have quietly believed for years, that GD has long respected and been close with BTS, and that these two fandoms should come together rather than be at odds with each other. From Korean netizens, the Nets, over on forums like Pannate and The Coup, the discussions were more varied and layered. Some were analyzing the deeper meaning behind the like. Others were discussing the broader relationship between the two artists, and some were simply enjoying the spectacle of it all unfolding in real time. One of the most upvoted comments among Korean netizens captured the mood perfectly. Two legends. Two different eras, but both the absolute best at what they do. This is not drama. This is one artist appreciating another. Now let's go a little deeper, because there is something that often gets overlooked when we focus only on the viral sensation of a moment like this. The relationship between G-Dragon and Jimin, or more broadly, the relationship between Big Bang and BTS, actually represents something profoundly important in the history of K-pop, the passing of the torch between generations. Big Bang was a group that, in their era, took K-pop to a level that had never been reached before. They redefined what it meant to be an idol, beyond just singing and dancing, but creating art, having a unique identity, and daring to experiment in ways no one had done before them. There were also ARMY fans who immediately started digging through old archives to find every single moment where GD and Jimin, or GD and BTS in general, had ever interacted. The resulting threads on Twitter ended up receiving hundreds of thousands of likes on their own, turning into viral content all by themselves. From the VIP side, the Big Bang fandom, the majority of VIPs responded with immense pride and enthusiasm. For them, this proved that G-Dragon is not a closed-off or exclusive figure. He actively follows the developments of the industry and appreciates talent, regardless of which group that talent comes from. The VIP comments that got the most traction echoed sentiments like, GD always recognizes quality. Always. There's nothing surprising about this at all. And others pointed out what many in both fandoms have quietly believed for years, that GD has long respected and been close with BTS, and that these two fandoms should come together rather than be at odds with each other. From Korean netizens, the Nets, over on forums like Pannate and The Coup, the discussions were more varied and layered. Some were analyzing the deeper meaning behind the like. Others were discussing the broader relationship between the two artists, and some were simply enjoying the spectacle of it all unfolding in real time. One of the most upvoted comments among Korean netizens captured the mood perfectly. Two legends. Two different eras, but both the absolute best at what they do. This is not drama. This is one artist appreciating another. Now let's go a little deeper, because there is something that often gets overlooked when we focus only on the viral sensation of a moment like this. The relationship between G-Dragon and Jimin, or more broadly, the relationship between Big Bang and BTS, actually represents something profoundly important in the history of K-pop, the passing of the torch between generations. Big Bang was a group that, in their era, took K-pop to a level that had never been reached before. They redefined what it meant to be an idol, beyond just singing and dancing, but creating art, having a unique identity, and daring to experiment in ways no one had done before them. And moments like G-Dragon liking Jimin's post often become the catalyst that brings those two worlds together, at least for a time. On Twitter, hashtags combining GD and Jimin's names were trending, not for drama, but to celebrate this beautiful collision of two worlds. Fan art appeared everywhere. Edited videos set to classic K-pop music circulated across platforms. People who would normally be on opposite sides of the fandom divide were suddenly leaving comments in the same tone. Pure admiration. This is truly one of the most powerful things an idol can do. Through a single simple action, without even trying, they can bring thousands, even millions of people together who had been divided for so long. You know, in the middle of all this excitement, in the middle of all the tweets, the threads, and the lengthy analyses, there is one simple message I really want to leave with you. Appreciation is beautiful. When an artist of G-Dragon's stature, Someone who has reached the absolute peak of everything. Someone who no longer needs to prove a single thing to anyone. Still takes a moment to appreciate the work or the presence of someone like Jimin. It teaches us something deeply valuable. True greatness is not measured by how far above others we keep ourselves. It is measured by how much capacity we have to recognize, to acknowledge, and to support those around us. G-Dragon lost nothing by liking Jimin's post. If anything, he added one more dimension to an already extraordinary persona. The dimension of a gracious senior who never forgot to appreciate his juniors. And Jimin? He has long since proven that he deserves exactly this kind of recognition. From years and years of relentless hard work, from long nights of practice that pushed his body to its limits, from the vulnerability he poured into his music, all of it carried him to a point where even someone like G-Dragon took notice. That is not luck. That is the result of a life lived with total dedication to the craft. Okay, that is everything. The complete breakdown of the moment that sent the entire K-pop world into a frenzy. G-Dragon liked Jimin's post. One tiny click, but the meaning behind it is absolutely enormous. Two legends from two completely different generations, acknowledging each other's existence and greatness. And in the middle of all of it, fans from all around the world, ARMY, VIP, and every K-pop lover in between, got to share in that joy together. This is a reminder that underneath all the drama, all the rivalry, and all the seemingly endless debates on social media, K-pop is ultimately about music, about art, and about human connection. And when moments like this happen, we are all reminded of why we fell in love with this world in the first place. So what do you think? Are you just as excited about this interaction between G-Dragon and Jimin as we are? Are you Team ARMY, Team VIP, or are you here rooting for both of them? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I genuinely want to know what all of you think. And if you enjoyed this video, please help this channel grow by giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a new video, dropping your comment down below, and sharing this with your friends who love K-pop just as much as you do. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. You are the absolute best. See you in the next video, and as always, support your favorite artists with love, respect, and everything you've got. Annyeong. Waving hand purple heart.